Hi, my name is Ian Willis. I run a website called www.seekingchange.co.uk, and this is a weekly blog. Today what I'd like to look at is how young people have relationships with families and how sometimes those young people become the negative aspect of the family. When we work within a family unit, we call the family a system. Systems are two or more people joined together under a same goal or a same objective or a same identity. So you'll have systems at work, you'll have systems with friends, you'll have systems with family. Sometimes the family system identifies one person to be the negative aspect of that family. We used to call it the black sheep of the family, the one that would get into trouble, the one that would challenge, the one that would create upset. And they would always be referred to as, oh, they've done this again and they've done that again, oh my, why were they doing this? And the system identifies and targets who would be the best person to do that job, that function. And the reason why the system does that, the other members of the system does that, is because then the people in the system don't have to have the negativity, they externalise it onto this other person. And as they do that, then this person becomes the owner of the negativity, and they just become the one that's always wrong or always not doing it right. That role, that function, is a very responsible role and function, a very needed role and function for the system. So they will make or try to make that person have that role all the time. Constantly with put downs or with criticism or with knocks and scrapes, or getting them to be the one that kind of gets the attention. So with young children, you might find one kind of amplifying the person's issues and problems. You might find them pinching one, and then the one that's been pinched shouts out and retaliates, and you only see the one that's retaliating. So that person will then become the person that's wrong and chastise them or whatever process you use. So as they grow up, then they just become the one that takes the negativity of the system. And that's okay usually until the system changes. Maybe somebody might leave because they're getting married or going to university or something of those kind of situations. So the system needs to reorganise itself, restructure itself, because the person who's left has a role, and that role has to then be shared out by the other members of the system that's left. And that's when this disharmonious process can be awkward, because in that jumbling things up, that changing things, then the whole system has to be reformed in a different way. And sometimes that can mean that people get externalised and excluded, and they can feel awkward and feel as though they don't fit anymore, or their role is not the same role as they're asking now to take on board. So they become insecure and they start reacting to that. You'll notice that with families, certainly, where you would have somebody who was an ideal person, never complained, never got upset, always did what they was told to do, always made that process one that made it work, and they were never in trouble, never the one that got the attention. And then all of a sudden things will change, and they will become insecure because of the change, and then they will start creating all sorts of mayhem, out of character, out of behaviour, at school, at home, and all of a sudden they're the negative one, and that title may stick. So work with the people in your system and try to give everybody an equal share of the negativity. Don't try and put it onto one person, because that will create problems in their life, in their future. Have the life you want and not the one other people think you should have, is one of the sayings I have. And the process of accepting that you are an individual should be one that you take on board and enjoy, and everybody else in the system should allow you to be that individual as you should allow them to be their individual. It's really hard to get that right. It's not easy. There's no rule book for this. It's a kind of suck it and see kind of a process, and you will always get it wrong and you have to rebalance it. But it's about working at it and making each member of that system feel valued, and then nobody has to be excluded and feel like they're the odd one out. Hopefully that made sense, and if you want to interact with any of the processes on the website, then please do so. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask, then by all means email me, and I'll do my best to answer them. Take care. Enjoy your life.